Oh, Tony, look at our baby. Go on, hold her. My husband just stared at me along with my in-laws when I said that. Then they said something I never thought they would say.
You can't have children with me. Because I'm infertile, right? Who's the father?
You should get a divorce. I was stunned by this out of the blue. Then the doctor said on my behalf.
Shall we find out who the father is? What?
My husband and mother-in-law suddenly panicked at the doctor's comment. My name is Kara. I am a 31-year-old office worker. My husband Tony and I have been married for 2 years. We were classmates in college, and even after we entered the workforce, we kept in touch with each other and naturally started dating. After 3 years of dating, he proposed to me and we got married. Although we started dating casually, we had been friends since college, and I felt very comfortable with him. So when he proposed to me, I readily accepted the idea of marrying him. I knew I could be with him forever. That's how I felt. And even after we got married, I felt the same way. He still cared for me, as he did when we were dating. And we are very happy in our marriage. Since we had been together for many years, and had lived together, I thought that marriage would be the same as before. But marriage seemed to bring a fresh feeling to everything. And I always felt excited to be with him. We worked together and had a well-balanced life with each of us at the home. My husband has been living alone for a long time, and to some extent, he is able to cook for himself, which is very helpful. Recently, he seemed to be addicted to the taste of curry, and has a variety of spices in the house. So on weekends and holidays, my husband always makes spiced curry. Compared to the first time, the taste has been getting better and better, and he's so addicted to it that I think he might open a restaurant. I am also addicted to baking, and on holidays, we often enjoy eating baked sweets I make at home with my husband. Since we don't spend money on any other activities, I think we have a rich life, with both working and a comfortable income. We are not extravagant by any means, but we are certainly living a happy life. I think such a feeling is the best. There's no need to live in a high-rent place, or to wear expensive things to look good. If you really like the brand, that's fine. But I don't try to get something just because it will make people around you think I'm great. You will end up finding yourself in a situation where it won't be accepted by others again, and you will try to make up for it with things. And then you will find yourself running out of money, and your mind will be ruled by anxiety and impatience. And sometimes you will even go into debt. So I personally believe that it is best to save money while living within one's means. I am sure that my husband feels the same way, which is why we are still happy married after 2 years. But recently, his behavior started to change.
What do you think?
What? New clothes? That's unusual.
I bought it because I thought it looked cool. So, what do you think?
I like it. It looks good on you.
Good.
But it's a brand name. I'm surprised you decided to buy it.
I just had to have it.
I see. I thought it was unusual for my husband, who had never been interested in clothes before. Well, people's taste can change suddenly, and if he's buying it because he's happy with it, then there's no problem. However, my husband's appearance changed after that. He started to do his hair in fashionable styles, and even started to wear men's perfume. What's the matter with you lately? You seem to be taking a lot of care about your appearance.
Whoa, I'm a section chief now too. And now I'm worried about the way my subordinates look at me. I thought I should change my appearance so that they'll think I'm a cool boss.
I see. I was a little surprised. I thought my husband was the type of person who's not influenced by the superficial evaluations of others, just like me. But when you are in a higher position and people pay attention to you, maybe you start to pay attention to those things. Well, my husband seemed to be buying them within his allowance, and I didn't want to be so strict about it. Besides, I am glad that my husband is cool. I would stop him if he is going to make too many expensive purchases. but I'm sure he can control himself there. For the time being, he seemed to be making do with his allowance. However, a little after that, my husband said something like this.
Hey, I was wondering if you could give me some money.
What? Why? Considering what you earned, that should be enough, right? That's not so little. I think it's pretty average. Even though I told him so, he still didn't seem to be convinced.
I feel like I'm the one who's losing money.
Why do you say that? You've been leaving me in charge of the household's finances because you think it's too much of a hassle.
I know, but aren't you making sure that you're more of your share?
I'm not doing that. I thought it was getting too much. I got angry, and my husband didn't talk about it anymore. But I didn't think we would come to this point to fight about something like this. We made up and went back to our normal routine. Well, it's been 2 years since we got married. And maybe it's time for us to start noticing each other's various aspects. I was hoping that we could talk things out and get along well with each other in such a situation. Then a very happy thing happened.
What? You're pregnant?
It's ours.
That's amazing.
It turns out I'm pregnant.
Kara, thank you. I'm gonna try harder.
My husband was happy to hear that. We're going to have a new family, and we're going to be happy. Just thinking about it made my heart beat faster. Then I started to rest as much as possible because I was pregnant. My husband said he would work hard because we would need more money after the baby was born. And he continued to work overtime as usual. I wanted him to come home early, at least until the baby was born, but he went back to his work. When I pointed this out to him, he said,
I see. I'm sorry I didn't think of that. I'll try to get my mom to support you.
He started inviting my mother-in-law to the house. Well, that's not what I meant. I don't think my husband and I are communicating very well these days. Well, my relationship with my mother-in-law is not so bad, and it's nice to have someone there for me. Then I entered a stable period and started to prepare for the birth in earnest. My husband was coming home quite late, so I decided that I couldn't make my mother-in-law wait that long every time. So I decided to have the baby back home.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Thank you for all the support you have given me. I thanked my mother-in-law and went home.
Kira, welcome home.
Hi, Mom. My mother lives alone in my parents' house. She lives in a rural area, so I don't get to go home often. And I feel sorry for her. She always told me not to worry about it, but still, she was very happy when I came back home. This time, I can stay with her for a long time because I am going to have a baby at home. I was happy to be back home for the first time in a while and enjoyed talking with my mother. We talked about work and the pregnancy while eating her home-cooked food. We had a relaxing time together. As we spent time together in this way, my belly was getting bigger. Soon, my husband and I would have a beautiful child. I couldn't help but feel excited at the thought of it. But I was also a little anxious at the same time. That is, my husband has not been responding to me much lately. I basically reported to him about my health and the baby's condition. In the beginning, he didn't reply, but then gradually he never did. And now he doesn't even read my messages. Is something wrong? Maybe he's just busy with work. My delivery was getting closer and closer, and I was still a little confused. Finally, I went into labor, and my mother accompanied me to the hospital, which helped me a lot. Then I endured the pain and safely gave birth to a beautiful baby girl.
Kira, you did great. It's a beautiful baby.
Really? She's so cute. My baby was so cute the first time I saw her. And I had sent a message to my husband to let him know I was in labor. So I was hoping he would be there to witness the birth. Tony didn't come. Apparently not. Even if he is busy with his work. My mother complained that my husband would prioritize the birth of his own child. I would like to complain to my husband when I see him, but I'd rather he hold our newborn child in his arms. That's what I thought. The next day, my husband came to the hospital with my parents-in-law. Oh, Tony! My husband finally arrived. I wanted to complain, but I was relieved to see his face. Look at our baby! Hold her! This is when I noticed something a little strange. My husband just stared at me along with my in-laws when I said that. What's wrong with you? And both of them looked grim. And I sensed something was wrong. I asked them fearfully. Unfortunately, my mother had an appointment at the hospital she was visiting, so she was not here today. The air was heavy. And then they said something I never thought they would say.
Whose baby did you give birth to?
What are you talking about? It's your baby, isn't it?
You can't have kids with me. Because I'm infertile. Right? Who's the father? I'll divorce you.
I'm stunned by such words out of the blue. Wait a minute. Of course it's your child. I hurriedly retorted, and my father-in-law glared at me.
My son is physically incapable of having a child. Are you trying to get away with this after all this time?
I couldn't think very well what the situation was, since it had been only 1 day since the birth, but my in-laws blamed me mercilessly. At that time, the door of the hospital room opened and a doctor came in. The doctor said on my behalf, "Shall we find out who the father is?"
Mrs. Kara has just given birth and is in a state of mental and physical exhaustion. If you push her any further, I, as her doctor, will have to ensure her safety.
You are all yelling so loud. I could hear what you're saying.
But the point is, we just need to find out who the father of the baby is, right?
That's what I'm saying.
She's having an affair. So let her confess who she's having an affair with.
And then we'll file for alimony and get a divorce. My husband and mother-in-law said something like that. The doctor retorted,
How can you be so sure she's having an affair?
Because my son is infertile.
I can't have children. So that means my wife was having an affair and planning to beg me for money. I see. Then why did you say such a thing after the baby was born? What? When did you find out you were infertile? Well, it was, just recently. Why would you want to be tested when your wife is pregnant? Normally, you wouldn't want to be tested because you would feel sure that you're fertile, right?
My husband and mother-in-law suddenly panicked at the doctor's comment.
That's right. It's even stranger that you got the test result after the baby was born. If the test had been done before the pregnancy, the results would certainly have come back before the baby was born. Then you would have questioned her when you got the results, right?
That's... The doctor pointed out that my husband's statement was suspicious. My father-in-law, who was listening to this, started to argue with the doctor's statement.
I think he's right. I had thought that my son would never lie. But now the strange things are starting to come out. It is true that I am really infertile. Then, why did you get tested?
My husband and mother-in-law started to panic even more, as my father-in-law joined in the questioning.
Wait a minute! Don't you believe our son? I want to believe my son, but I want to know the truth. Shall we do a DNA test then?
What? When the word DNA test was mentioned, my husband and mother-in-law got more upset.
Is that really necessary? Huh? Since my body is incapable of having children, we already know the result, don't we? A DNA test is necessary to prove that. And if you were going to accuse her of adultery and divorce her, you need to examine her in detail, don't you?
My husband and mother-in-law were absolutely shocked when the doctor said that. My head finally started to spin, and I shrank my words with the thought that I had to protect this child. Let's do the DNA test. I'll get the results and show that you were lying. Then the doctor sent their in-laws away from the room. Thank you so much.
No, don't worry about it. Actually, your mother asked me to. She asked me to protect you when she can't come to the hospital.
Mom did.
Yes. She heard about your husband's recent behavior and thought it was suspicious. She said that she is now asking a professional to investigate if he is having an affair. If I had listened to the conversation earlier, your husband is definitely lying, and it seems certain that he is having an affair. Please be assured that I would refuse to let him visit you from now on.
Thank you very much. I thanked the doctor and was surprised to know that my mother had done such a thing without my knowledge. The next day, when I told my mother who came to the hospital, she smiled and said that she got the evidence too. My daughter and grandchildren are very important to me, and I have to protect them. When I checked the evidence of my husband's infidelity that my mother had obtained, I found a picture of him going into a hotel with a subordinate at his office.
That's unforgivable.
How could he suspect me of infidelity when he himself was having an affair? Then we went to my parents-in-law's house with the evidence. My father-in-law was surprised to see the evidence of the affair, and my husband and mother-in-law became pale. You were going to be with the adulterer, so you tried to frame me and divorce me.
That's... I see. Tony, explain yourself.
My father-in-law yelled at him, and my husband confessed with a frightened look on his face. Everything went as I expected. And to my surprise, my mother-in-law seemed to know about it, and was cooperating with him. She was disappointed that she heard that the baby was a girl, and she thought they could expect another baby when she heard that the lover was a young woman. That's disgusting. My father-in-law apologized to me and my mother.
I trusted them just because they were my family, and I hurt you guys. I'm so sorry. I'll let you divorce my son and make sure he pays alimony and child support.
No. Why are you making this decision on your own?
Shut up. You should know the weight of what you've done. And you should be sorry for being a part of such a lie. You should both reflect on what you've done. So pack your bags and leave.
Wait a minute. What do you mean we should reflect?
I don't want to live with you for a while. Why don't you and your son just live with yourselves? I'll change the locks on the house so you can't get in.
That's not right. We left the house after that, and I demanded alimony from my husband and the adulterer and child support as well. Also, the fact that he was trying to get alimony from me was judged to be malicious, and the alimony to my husband was increased considerably. My husband tried to get together with his girlfriend, but my mother-in-law cried and moved in with him. So his girlfriend said, I can't pay alimony and live with your mother, and ran away. Furthermore, the girlfriend complained to the company that my husband had sexually harassed her, and so he was demoted regardless of whether the facts were correct or not. It seems that the company also judged that the divorce was going through at the same time, and that it will be a hardship on the company. However, despite the cold looks he receives from those around him, he still has to pay alimony and child support, as well as earn money to live with his mother. He feels ashamed and stressed every day as he works. He deserves everything he gets, and I have no sympathy for him. On the other hand, I applied to the company to switch to remote work so that I can live at home with my mother and raise my daughter. My mother and I have gotten along even more with the doctor who helped us with the case. Recently, I have been inviting him to our house for dinner, and we are gradually getting closer to each other. I do not know what will happen from now on, but I secretly hope to have a relationship with him in the future.